Hello and welcome back to a new video of Adrian Scott's Film Collectables. It's been a while since I've last done a video, going back sometime last month was the last one I did, so it's been a few weeks. But for this video, I've been going back to the root of everything, of how it all started for me, and I've actually found it all very interesting and quite fascinating, because it's taken me down memory lane of finding really the first official items that I collected on Laurel and Hardy, and those items came directly from the Laurel and Hardy Museum here in Ulverston, and were purchased from Bill Kubin at the time back in 1989 when I was 10 years old. So that's me and my brother, my older brother, and my mum and dad there at the museum in Upper Brook Street, which was the original museum at the time. And that's the photo that Bill Kubin took of us together. The only thing I do regret is that we don't actually have a photo with Bill with us, but this is a good memory because he actually took this photograph. And as you can see there, that's one of my purchases, is the little felt bowler hat, which never left the top of my head that day, and I can remember very clearly wearing it around Ulverston town, and I was very proud to own that little hat, and that was actually my first official bowler hat. Absolutely love that hat. Unfortunately, I don't have it now, so over time it did fall apart due to wear, and also I used to do a lot of like dressing up with friends and mucking about when I was growing up. So I loved the arts, and I loved all dressing up with makeup and all that kind of stuff. And it's something that's always stayed with me. So, for example, you've got that one there of me. That's with my very first Stan Laurel mask that I had. That's the very first one that I owned back then, and so that was like one of the first pieces of film like collecting on Laurel and Hardy that I had then. So basically, the very first items that I had, that I owned on Laurel and Hardy ever, before anything else, were actually these two posters. These were both purchased at the museum. Bought from Bill at the time. So you have a poster here from Stan and Ollie on the bench with a dog. That's actually from Early to Bed, which is a 1928 silent short comedy. And then you've got the famous Stax double headshots, which is this one, which I absolutely love this one. So I've managed to sort of keep them well preserved all these years, and it's been very special to me that these were actually the very first two posters that I ever had on Laurel and Hardy growing up. And there's like bits of pinholes of blue tack and things where they've been marked, and that over the years how I've had them displayed. But eventually I've put them behind plastic and to keep them flat and just to preserve them. So these were two items that came from the museum back then in '89. But you can see here, this photo is here. This is my old bedroom. You can just see there, and you can see at the top, there's the poster behind me there, and there's the other one. And then all these other pictures on the wall. A lot of them came from Randy Scrivett's book, because what I did, I had them photocopied, and I used to have them pinned onto the wall, as you can see in this one, as me dressed up as a vampire or as Dracula there. But you can see behind me, there's all photocopied pictures, and you can see the posters there, as behind me here now, that came out of Randy's book. And then in the scrapbook, I decided to keep all those pictures in here. Lots of pictures from the museum at that time, which I have showed before in previous videos. and they are also on my Laurel and Hardy page as well, so you can sort of go through them and look them up. But so that was like a picture from the front of Randy's book. This was done by my dad and my brother as well, that did these pictures, as well as this one of Stan at the time. So this was done not long after I went to the museum. And then you've got the original book. This is the very first book that I owned, which was this one, which is the orange one. And you can see it's really well worn, and it's been really well read. And I've decided to keep this one. I have several more editions and copies, and of course the latest edition, but this one stays in the plastic. I'll put this in the book with Laurel and Hardy scrapbook, because this one is signed by Lucille, Ollie's last wife, and by Ben Price, and also by the author of this book. Ben Price was her second husband. So the reason why I've kept all this preserved in here, because it's actually, again, it's been signed by Bill, which is I've got in the photograph here. So you can just see there on the first page of the book, Bill put down to the Scott family, best wishes, Bill Cubbin, curator, Laurel and Hardy Museum, Ulverston, March 1989. So there you have it. So really nice bit of history for me, really, of how really Laurel and Hardy collecting really started and inspired me. But just moving back to some of the Laurel and Hardy items that I purchased. So we had the felt little hat, the two posters, and then I do remember these postcards. These came from the museum at the time, and you've got the address and the stamp at the back of the museum. So you've got a perfect day. And then you've got Men o' War. You've got Pardon Us. And again, like the poster, Early to Bed. And again, like the old photos of my bedroom, these used to be pinned to the wall. They've got the little pin marks, or like blue tap marks, whereas now I keep these all preserved in postcard files just to keep them all together. And then there was this that came from there at the time, Laurel and Hardy Museum. It's like a sew-on patch, but I never used it for that, to sew it onto anything. It had always been stuck to the wall. And there was a little Laurel and Hardy rubber with Laurel and Hardy Museum Ulverston on it. And you see the corners have been worn down a little bit. Thank God the little picture of them is still pretty clear. It's still perfect. But the corners have been rubbed down, because I do remember my brother at the time, he started using it for school. He took it to school, used it, and then I stopped him and I kept the rubber so he couldn't have it. But I do know that on the back there, that's my brother, that he drew that little cartoon picture of Stan Laurel on the back all those years ago. So they're nice little memories, like little memento memories that have really developed. And then I do remember Bill Cubbin gave my parents several of those to advertise for the museum, like to hand them out or to give them out. He had loads of those photocopied, and he also had this as well, which I thought I lost this, so I thought I didn't have this anymore, but this was actually in the scrapbook, and you can see this is the Market Street, and then Upper Brook Street, which is sort of this way down that street there, but you can see the whole main town there advertising the Laurel and Hardy Museum, and there's a picture of Bill there, curator of Laurel and Hardy Museum. So, and again, you can see how worn this is, because it's been stuck, it's been pinned or blue tacked to the wall, whereas now this is kept preserved, like with all my original Laurel and Hardy items that came from the museum back then. And then I almost forgot about this, and this is a t-shirt that was bought again from the museum. So you can see it's obviously a few sizes smaller. So this is a t-shirt that I had back then of Laurel and Hardy, bought from the museum as well. And basically that was it. That was all the items of what I can remember that were bought at the time, and they were the first items. So this little rubber, or the sew on patch, the book, and these photocopied items. I had this little Ottoman top. I remember it very clearly. It was like a set of white drawers, and I had my Laurel and Hardy mask and my hat and all these other items just displayed on top. And you had these two posters, and then also like these items here, as you can see from the museum, that I had stuck to my wall that I bought at the time, and also photocopied items that came from Randy's book. And that was it, and that is basically how it started, and it obviously just grew from there over the years, and it's just been very special to me to have these items, whereas growing up I could have quite easily lost all these items, or just eventually got rid of them, but I did not do that because of the passion I had for it all. So it's great to have them. It really does take you back to your roots of when it all started. And then just to finish off, I also have this, which I also have these. These are like a set of coasters, or like little trays. I thought they were ashtrays or something like that, but I think they're like little metal coasters. And obviously you can see that's a picture of Stan and Ollie there from Great Guns, which is obviously the post Laurel and Hardy films. Now, I didn't buy this from the museum, but when I was there, I do remember these on display for sale. And it was my best friend, Peter, at the time, but he went the same year with his family to the museum, and he bought me this when he came back. So this was from my best friend, Peter. And if you are watching this, Peter, I'm sure you can remember this. This is the item that you bought me. It's also got an indent in this, in Stan's face. You can feel it at the back. And the reason why there's a dent in that, because my best friend at the time, he had a BB gun, and he put it to the face on Stan, and he shot it. And I wasn't impressed at all when he did that, even though he got me this. But that was just us at the time, being kids, just being stupid, doing silly things. So that again brings back a lot of memories. Again, it was one of the first items that I had on Laurel and Hardy. So I also have, this is like another scrapbook of where I used to sort of like dress up in costume and stuff, because I've always been into the arts and the theatre and like special effects, makeup. So really, this is where it all comes from. Really, this is where it all really started for me. But yeah, there we go. You can't see him, but he's got a mask on me. He's got the Ollie mask that went with my Stan mask. You can see just there. That's my best friend there with the Ollie mask on at fancy dress party, and then that's me there behind, dressed up as the Joker. So great times, great memories. So there it is. So that's how it all started. So it's good to get it all out, and to think that actually some of this stuff means more to me than than a lot of other stuff that I've got on Laurel and Hardy, like for example signed stuff, or um, or even the original items that I've got that are owned by Stan. You know, even those really rare sought after things that any fan would want. In a sense, this stuff is more meaningful to me because this is how it started, and then it sort of branched off from here. So maybe it'll be a good idea to have all this stuff in a little display showcase, so it's all together of the start of Laurel and Hardy collecting for me back in the 80s. So there it is, a little history lesson about me and how my Laurel and Hardy collecting all started. So there we go. So thanks for watching this video, and there we go, Laurel and Hardy t-shirt again. So thanks for watching, and hope everyone's doing well, and happy collecting, everyone. Bye for now.